All right, this is how Bitcoin dominance works. Now, a lot of you will already know how this works, but we get more followers every time, and some of the times we need to come back and explain some of these basic things. This chart represents altcoins trading against Bitcoin. Usually, when you open platforms like CoinMarketCap, you'll see crypto prices in dollars like so. But this is actually for simplicity's sake. The default currency here is Bitcoin. So that means it's actually supposed to look like so. Just that this will be confusing to a lot of people, which is why you always see it in dollars. Now here we see 1 BTC, yeah? So 1 BTC is only worth 1 BTC. But as we go down, we see that the values of these cryptocurrencies change in BTC terms. Now, these prices of altcoins in BTC terms is cumulatively represented on this chart. So this chart essentially represents the worth of all these altcoins compared to Bitcoin. When it goes up like so, it means that all those altcoins, these altcoins, are becoming worth less compared to Bitcoin. When it goes down like so, it means that those altcoins are starting to be worth more compared to Bitcoin. Now, the mechanics of how this works is these altcoins have Bitcoin pairs. So instead of an ETH USDT pair, we have an ETH BTC pair. Instead of an XRP USDT pair, we have an XRP BTC pair. Let's take Ethereum as our example. So here, instead of typing ETH USDT, we type ETH BTC. So here, we will see the ETH BTC chart. So, as you see here, this is Ethereum trading against BTC. Now, we actually forecasted that this thing is going to go right up to somewhere around 0.5 right here. So, it's still underway. But overall, what we are essentially saying here is that on this ETH BTC pair, BTC will be exchanged for Ethereum more than Ethereum will be exchanged for BTC, which of course will move the price of Ethereum on its BTC pair, meaning, in most cases, a higher dollar value. Now, that is independent of Bitcoin's dollar value, meaning that if Bitcoin's dollar value stayed the same, this could still happen. And it will most likely mean a higher Ethereum dollar value. So if BTC was at, say, $105,000 and it stayed there, it didn't go up nor down, it just stayed there, and more BTC was exchanged for Ethereum, that will not move that dollar value for BTC to the downside. Remember that you're trading, that's a completely different pair. Yeah, so you're exchanging more, say, BTC for ETH. It won't change the dollar value for BTC. It will only change the BTC value for ETH, which then translates into a higher dollar value for ETH. Now, the point where many people usually get confused with this is, well, how will it increase Ethereum's dollar value when Ethereum only moved up on its BTC value right here? And let's quickly explain that. I promise you will understand it fully. So what you have to look at here is actually the BTC value for ETH. So right now, Ethereum on its BTC pair costs 0.03378 BTC to buy 1 ETH. Now, if you convert this figure into dollars, it will give you this. So let's quickly change this into dollars. It will give you this figure right here, $3,570. This figure right here is exactly this ETH BTC figure. And so if ETH goes up on its BTC value to this figure right here, which will be 0.05771, it will increase its dollar value because the BTC value right here would have increased. So you see that this going up or down, or say the ETH to BTC pair going up or down, does not necessarily mean that BTC on its USDT value will go up or down, but it actually means that the altcoin in question will go up or down on its USDT value. Now, ETH BTC was just an example. So let's go now to the BTC dominance. Let's go back there and we finish the explanation. So, as we've already said, this going up means that the value is flowing from altcoins into Bitcoin, meaning that traders are mostly trading altcoins for Bitcoin. Most of the times it's because of fear. So if they're suspecting that a bear market is coming around, what they'd want to hold and to still be in crypto would be Bitcoin. So they would be selling their altcoins for Bitcoin, not for USDT, then take USDT and buy Bitcoin. No, directly for Bitcoin. So they'd go to, say, an ETH BTC pair, and if they have ETH, they'll directly sell the ETH for BTC. If they hold XRP, BNB, Solana, or whatever, they directly sell those altcoins for Bitcoin. When they do that, this goes up. Now, if they are suspecting an alt season, they want to make more money as the altcoins go up, they would be selling the Bitcoins for the altcoins. So in pairs like ETH, BTC, XRP, BTC, Polkadot BTC, Cosmos or Atom BTC, Solana BTC, Cardano BTC, they'd be selling BTC directly for those altcoins. And what happens when they do that? The values of those altcoins on their BTC pairs go up, thereby increasing the altcoin's dollar value. And this would be going down in said scenario. So when we say that Bitcoin dominance will crash, what we are essentially saying is that those traders and investors will most likely are going to be selling their Bitcoins for altcoins. When they do that, the values of those altcoins on their BTC pairs will go up, thereby increasing their dollar values. And that, of course, will mean that this will crash, because the dominance, or how much of the market share is taken by Bitcoin alone, will be going down. Of course, that would mean a crash right here. Now, it's important to understand that this is independent of Bitcoin's dollar value. So if Bitcoin is at 105K and you exchange a bunch of Bitcoins for, let's just say, Ethereum, what happens to Bitcoin's dollar value? It will stay the same, because you did not exchange it for dollars, you exchanged it for ETH. Now, what would happen to ETH? ETH will go up on its Bitcoin pair. We've explained already, but I'm just trying to summarize the whole thing. So ETH will go up on its Bitcoin pair, meaning that its dollar value will also increase. So to answer your question directly, if Bitcoin dominance comes down to, say, 45% or 40%, Bitcoin will most likely be at its peak or close to its peak on its USDT pair. It will not be at the bottom of the bear market. We had the previous market top, that's in the previous cycle, somewhere around here. I believe that's the ending 2021 around here. And that was the bottom for Bitcoin dominance, or the alt season peak. That was also somewhere around Bitcoin's peak. So the bottom for Bitcoin dominance is always when Bitcoin is either at its peak or close to its peak. We are expecting that Bitcoin could actually top out somewhere around 170K or more. If that happens and we have Bitcoin dominance as about 45% or 40%, that will be Bitcoin's peak. So you can't be expecting this to come down here when Bitcoin is also going to its bear market bottom. I mean, if you've understood what we've talked about in this video, you'll see how that can't even work. The move to the upside is mostly fear. People only go into Bitcoin because they are mostly afraid. They want to lock in their capital but still be exposed to the crypto markets. So if this thing is in a horrendous crash right here, it means that the markets are actually in risk-on mode, and that can't be at the same time when Bitcoin is diving straight into its bear market lows. It can only be when Bitcoin is either just consolidating or gradually moving up. Hopefully you understood. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. But until the next one, stay safe.